Yeah, old school.
I'm breaking down Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode by episode. Here's 99 Things You Missed in Season 1, Episode 8, Old School.
You only get one shot at this, Peralta.
We start with this fairly accurate depiction of a bomb-disarming robot. The NYPD do have such devices, but it's unlikely non-bomb squad officers would be allowed to access them.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I saw the first 15 minutes of The Hurt Locker.
This is in reference to the award-winning 2008 film about the Iraq War that features both a remote diffusing device and a bomb-resistant suit like the one we'll see in a second.
We gotta get those shoes out of here.
As we saw in a previous episode, this is a regular thing for Scully.
Scully ate his pot pie 30 minutes ago, so we probably got 10 minutes left on this nap. 12 if he's turkey tired.
Turkey having a sedating effect is actually a myth. While consuming it does release small amounts of melatonin, the dosage is so small that it shouldn't be noticeable. But clearly Scully's pie is infused with dark magic, as it moves by itself in almost every cut.
It's trapped. Abort mission.
I have an idea.
The part of the suit partially covering Charles's visor shifts down and we cut to this shot where the camera is very much visible in the reflection.
Let's send these shoes to hell.
As bad as the stench was, using taxpayer-funded explosives to detonate stolen property is beyond illegal. More importantly, they recklessly left this grabber in the blast zone.
I am early because Jimmy Brogan is here today.
Jimmy Brogan is played by Stacy Keach, who is no stranger to police-centric roles, as he notably played a warden in Prison Break, a sergeant in Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke, and the titular detective Mike Hammer, which earned him his Golden Globe. While Brogan does share his name with an American stand-up comic, his character is actually based on award-winning author Jimmy Breslin, who wrote many similar articles and novels.
Why do you care so much about some old reporter?
Jimmy Brogan wrote The Squad, about badass New York cops in the 70s.
Charles has once again bought Rosa coffee. There's also a fan theory that his novels are based on the works of Roderick Thorpe, who notably wrote Nothing Lasts Forever. This would later be adapted into a movie you may have heard of by the name of Die Hard.
It's the best book I've ever read, and I've read 15 books.
You said 15?
According to several studies, the average American reads 12 books a year. Considering this episode was filmed in 2013, Samberg would have been 35 years old, meaning he should have read this very nice round number of books. I know that's not how extrapolating works, but I did the maths and I like the number, so.
It was my first book report.
The detectives wiped the mobsters' blood off their boots.
Alongside the many generic classroom details, we can see Jake looks to have been given 2 strikes for bad behavior, which honestly checks out.
See me after class, Jacob.
I later lost my virginity to Mrs. Stratton's daughter. It was very fast.
Nice.
This is very unfitting with his comment in episode 4.
You guys have been down here for 2 hours. What, did you have sex 40 times?
That's 3 minutes on average.
Mr. Brogan.
Holt's pride-themed binders have disappeared. I doubt this was intentional, but considering what we learn about Brogan, it's unfortunately thematic.
You can just make it out to Death Wish. That's what everyone calls me.
Everyone calls you pineapples.
Those New York cops from the 70s you wrote about were my idols. I mean, Gaminsky, Kavanaugh, Quigg.
Gaminsky is a traditionally Polish surname, but the other two are of Irish origin, which is fitting considering the country's long-standing connection with New York.
I once saw Gaminsky choke a hippie to death with his own ponytail.
Illegal.
Love that.
I actually couldn't find any reported incidents of such ponytail-centric police brutality, which is kind of surprising considering the NYPD's track record.
He'll be observing the 2 of you on your internet identity theft case.
All right, everyone's here.
We get another installment of briefing room whiteboard details. Up top is this episode's motivational quote from ex-president Teddy Roosevelt. And below it is a map of ATM hits assigned to Detective Santiago, which actually matches up to the case her and Jake work throughout this episode. To the right we see Hitchcock and Scully are working a grand larceny case involving the same Liberty sanitation we saw in episode 5.
The DA is worried about how you present yourself on the stand.
Look, I'll make this real simple so even these dum-dums can understand.
I'm not a lawyer, but from what I've researched, witnesses aren't allowed to directly address the jury.
I'm sorry, can you make her stop doing that weird thing with her face?
I'm not a lawyer, but from what I've researched, witnesses aren't allowed to directly address the defendant, let alone insult them like this.
And when this is over, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna break those little fingers.
Miss Diaz.
I'm not a lawyer, but from what I've researched, witnesses are actually encouraged to threaten stenographers whenever possible, as they are weird little nerds who need to be kept in line. Only joking, of course, you shouldn't threaten stenographers in a court.
Fine, I'll take your dumbass seminar.
On top of his regular trinkets, Jake now has a classic NYPD squad car on his desk.
Oh, good God, why do you smell like an ashtray?
This is an odd comment coming from Amy of all people, considering we later learn she's the only member of the squad who smokes.
It's the only way I can cope with the stress of the job.
It actually makes sense to me that Amy is so alert to the smell, as on rewatch we can see he enters the bullpen directly from the roof. Not a detail, but this ash to butt ratio is ludicrous.
We're
running an algorithm to comb through the transactions.
Got it. Boring mumbo jumbo.
Amy is so offended by this, the extras behind her change. And this guy's also walking behind Jake when we cut to him.
We used to call guys who bragged about sitting around all day hair bags.
This was an actual NYPD term in the 1950s, but referred more generally to bitter veteran beat cops.
Except for Detective Finaldi. A mafia thug pried both his kneecaps off with a crowbar.
I couldn't actually find any cases involving this specific use of a crowbar, but that's not surprising, as to kneecap someone is actually a misnomer. Usually such cases involve low-powered rounds from a handgun being used to severely damage the joint, and only rarely does this involve the direct damage or removal of the patella.
This kind of data-driven police work has reduced crime by over 70%.
The data-driven policing in question refers to the CompStat system we talked about in episode 4. I can't find an exact figure like the 70% one Amy gives, but it did reportedly cause a significant drop in crime.
Do me a favor, wake me when your shift is over.
Whoa, Amy, be careful with that hand gesture, come on. It is physically impossible for a healthy person to fall asleep this quickly. Conditions such as narcolepsy and severe overexertion can allow for this, which actually would make sense considering Brogan's lifestyle.
All you need is for a jury to like you.
Below the crime stats, I spent way too long looking for Easter eggs, and there's encouragement to make collars, close cases, and retire. And beside it is a platitude that doubles as a reference to the 1988 hit from Bobby McFerrin.
Always make good eye contact. Don't blink too fast or too slow or too much or too little.
Please, can I jump onto a sweet mob-related homicide?
There are no sweet mob-related homicides on which to jump.
Holt is clearly picking favorites here, as he was more than happy to make one up for Terry last episode.
Boom! There's one at the 7-3.
Whoever made this prop went to the effort of making it look like an actual homicide report from the 7-3, which is just one precinct over from where the 9-9 is based.
Why do you idolize that man and the time he wrote about?
Because the 70s were amazing.
Corruption, brutality, sexism.
Holt does raise a good point, however, it is still very rife in the current NYPD. Probably my favorite detail from this episode is the fact that Brogan is still just sleeping in the background throughout this entire scene.
Did I ever tell you what my first day on the job was like?
On top of the era-appropriate uniforms, we get a flurry of Anthora cups and this thin blue line mug. While the saying originated in the 50s, I'm not sure that designs like this would have been so prevalent.
Are you here to turn yourself in?
That is a brilliant idea.
It wasn't an idea, it was a scathing indictment of your personal hero.
Yeah, 6 of 1.
This is a shorthand form of the expression 6 of one, a half dozen of the other, but Samberg's delivery kind of makes it sound like 601, which is appropriately the police code for resisting an officer.
This is the best!
The exterior shots of Schur's bar were once again filmed on CBS's New York Street backlots.
It's late.
Are you kidding? The old guard drank till dawn, ate some coffee grounds, and started the whole day all over again.
Technically, you can get caffeine from eating coffee grounds, but it is also way more likely to result in heartburn and anxiety. That being said, if this video gets 2.5k likes, I will eat coffee grounds for science. I wrote this very late at night. I don't remember putting that down. Okay. These barred windows in the background actually do match the building's exterior, and 2 dancing extras appear behind Jake when he stands up. There's also a poster advertising live music and this deeply unsettling coconut thing.
Look, I'm tired of talking. Why don't you tell me some of your stories?
There are 3 Irish flags visible in the background, which confirms my suspicion that Schur's is an Irish pub. The wooden duck we saw in Gina's episode 2 flashback has reappeared and allows me to point out that this is the second Gina-less episode.
I got some stories that'll make Training Day look like Super Troopers.
Training Day and Super Troopers are both cop movies. Jake talks about them so much, I'm genuinely considering making like a watch list for all of the ones he mentions. So let me know if any of you would actually want to see that.
All right.
Look who's here.
Turn off your mouth, siren.
Jake has employed a small alligator to protect his files.
Here are the texts I got from you last night. Why Scotch burns so good? Was his name in Serpico?
Serpico is a 1978 film that follows a cop uncovering corruption in the NYPD. Notably, it features usual suspect actor Ron Gilbert, who actually shows up in a few episodes' time. I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention Charlie Day's rendition of the character in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Bingo! We had an epic night of bonding that I will never forget.
Do it! I believe in you.
Given that there's only 1 bottle left on the table, I'm gonna assume they've already finished the other one between them, which actually checks out considering Jake's reaction here.
Throw it!
The speed and angle of the dart doesn't match Brogan's throw, and also hits a section of Jake's shirt that has a weird outline. My guess is they used a flat magnetic dart and a small metal plate under Samberg's shirts. And again, they did this in It's Always Sunny.
I wonder if Brogan's okay.
He looks fine to me.
Morning, kid. How you doing?
A spill sound effect plays, and Jake reacts despite no coffee actually leaving the cup.
Oh, hey, so good.
This is our first look at the precinct's ladies' room and contains this poster advertising a cycling group.
For our second lesson, courthouse wardrobe.
What's wrong with the way I dress?
I think you look like a sexy motorcycle.
Boy, pull it together.
Yeah.
Wait, that's me! The mirrors behind them have been inset at an angle to avoid showing the behind-the-scenes crew, and one of them features an anti-drug poster.
My wife and Charles's mom donated some clothes.
I look like Arsenio.
Rosa is referring to actor and comedian Arsenio Hall, specifically his use of big-ass shoulder pads. Personally though, I think this is more reminiscent of Amy's Holly Gennaro costume from a later season.
Yes.
No.
Considering the clothes are donated, that means either Sharon or Boyle's mother owned this, and they still decided to leave it as an option for Rosa.
That's great.
Perfect.
I'm honestly not surprised this was chosen as an appropriate court outfit, considering that tasteful Hamlindigo blue shirt.
Scully.
Hey, Jake. How'd you use to cure hangovers?
Oh, I didn't drink. I was, however, extremely into cocaine for most of 1986. I gotta tell you the truth, Hitchcock. Can I tell you the truth?
We get another flashback scene with impressive attention to detail, and yet another instance of Hitchcock being inexplicably shirtless.
You look like a corpse we just pulled out of the river.
I look like a cool rock star who OD'd in his own pool.
And that's not a hangover cure.
What, that?
You should drink it all.
Thankfully, these aren't actual egg yolks, and are instead tinned peaches.
Oh, why did I do this?
Scully is using a telescopic pointer to do something? The fact I don't know is honestly amazing character work.
Here, switch seats with me. Oh, wow. Your butt's really warm.
Unbelievably, this scenario happens more than once.
Also, I have the seat warmer on. I don't just have a really hot butt.
Oh, it's very hot!
And the poster on Amy's monitor moves in the camera cut.
Someone posted the stolen card numbers online from this IP address.
The IP address they show on screen is not valid, and whatever Jake does while the camera's on Amy completely changes her screensaver.
Aspirin up and roll out! I'm glad you could be here for this.
This extra walks past in the same direction several times.
NYPD, open up!
Put your head through the door.
I tried for way too long to find the location of these exterior shots, but came up with nothing. If you have any ideas, there's a channel on my Discord dedicated to finding everything I couldn't. Go and join it, there's a link in the description.
You are one of the last few good cops fighting against the rising tide of hairbags.
This phrasing was used heavily in the pilot of season 8, albeit in a slightly different context.
Especially after our talk in the bar. Cops are usually afraid to go after their captains like that. But you, sir, are old school.
Your witness, counselor.
This exterior shot is of the New York County Supreme Court, but with the name digitally altered. And all the interior shots were done at the Riverfront Stage's modern courthouse sets.
The lawyer's that slimeball Grundhaven. Rosa hates him.
Grundhaven isn't a documented surname, but it does roughly translate to the garden in Danish. And Rosa's hatred of him was actually established earlier this episode, but this was likely only done to avoid the unnecessary cost of an additional speaking role.
Would you please tell the court exactly how you were involved in this case?
Grundhaven is played by Jerry Minor, who is yet another SNL alumnus.
Most of his cheek was caved in. His head was basically a blood fountain.
Brogan just sent me the quotes he's gonna run. Holt is way too verticulous? That's not even a word.
No, it's not an actual word, but it does have an Urban Dictionary entry.
You need to fix this, okay?
The cars driving past here change a lot throughout cuts.
I should brush my teeth first though, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible.
Great advice, dummies. I look like a psycho up there.
Yes, you have to pull it together. You just need to go to your happy place.
I again couldn't find this exterior location, but all interior shots were done inside the city spa on Pico Boulevard.
Welcome to the Schwitz, kid.
The term schwitz is of Yiddish origin and directly translates to perspiring.
It's like crawling back into your mother.
Is that something people want to do?
Thankfully, I don't need to search Rule 34 to check this one out, as John 3:4 makes direct reference to re-entering the womb like 2,000 years before Rule 34 was invented.
I was clearly not in control.
Maybe you should learn to handle your brown.
In research, I found this is an actual phrase, but is more commonly used to mean keeping one's shit together.
Kind of feel like you're being unfair here.
Feel like? Listen to her, Suzanne Summers over here.
Suzanne Summers was an American actress, author, and businesswoman, with her most notable role being Chrissy Snow in Three's Company.
Telling you nicely, I'm printing them.
No, you're not.
What are you gonna do about it?
Hey, how'd it go, Brogan?
I punched him in the face and made everything a billion times worse.
What?
If this cartoonish sound effect didn't give it away, this punch makes less than no contact, and slowing down the fall shows Brogan has unsurprisingly been replaced with a stunt double.
I think I know what happened.
No one cares what you think. Do you actually know anything, or are you just guessing?
Grundhaven is needlessly hostile, which would likely not stand in a real courtroom.
Your client instigated the fight. I'm certain.
You punched Jimmy Brogan?
Holt corrects his posture slightly when the camera cuts.
What were you thinking?
There's a marksmanship trophy on the shelf to match Holt's firearms proficiency bar, and his magic glasses from the Halloween episode are back, as they go from in his hand to folded on the desk when the camera cuts.
You got the rest of the day to put your head on straight.
I've been asked to mention this a few times, but this example is so extreme I actually feel the need to. In a later episode, it's established that Holt uses contractions while he's lying, yet throughout the early seasons he uses them frequently. It's been suggested I add another counter, but it feels a little too obscure, and I don't want the counter to get too powerful. powerful. This establishing shot of the precinct has a van parked in the street to prevent traffic.
Jake went to the Schwitz to talk to Brogan.
I didn't realize you were gonna get your panties all in a pretzel.
I'm not wearing underwear. It is swampy in here. My butt's like the Everglades.
This line is especially fitting considering Jake later describes Florida as America's stinky butts.
I will not print your quotes.
Oh, thank you. I know that Holt is a stickler, but he's actually a really good cop.
You don't have to stick up for that homo.
Where's your happy place?
It's just me and that stupid, slimy defense attorney, and I'm beating the hell out of him.
Okay.
I owe you one, Boyle.
We get a good look at some new trinkets on Scully's desk. Unsurprisingly, this headline is not from an actual article, and I'm surprised they didn't use the same fictional newspaper brand from the pilot.
You can ignore that garbage, Santiago. Jimmy Brogan wouldn't know a legit cop if he punched him in the face.
Welcome to the party, pal!
A special thank you to Certified Sweetheart House, as well as Warren Finney, The Lost Room, Skittle, Blair A., Cal, and Denver Music for becoming members. Fun fact, this is the most new members I've had between episodes, so thank you all so much for the support, it's genuinely crazy. Oh yeah, I hit 10K! I'm planning on doing a Q&A, so that should be up after this goes out. I'll see you in 2 weeks for another fire episode. Flame emoji, I actually wrote flame emoji 3 times there.
Not a doctor. Shh.